How is everybody this fine Sunday? So I didn't think I was going to come live today because I just wanted to kind of hang out with Crystal for the weekend, and we got a special day tomorrow. It's our anniversary. But and for those of you that are new here, Crystal's my wife. My name's Alan Roberts. People call me the Angry Bald Man. I talk a lot about health, fitness, to healthcare industry. Obesity is my main focus, as I am a recovering binge eater myself. I have been 2 years, 5 months, and 12 days without a binge now. And one of the things I talk about on a fairly regular basis are these, what I consider very, very scary weekly injectable medications for weight loss that are being massively pushed. And I called this over a year ago that the push for weight loss pharma and weight loss surgery was going to be incredibly, incredibly hard. And it is everybody knows knows Ozempic. Everybody's very familiar. And they're pushing it on everybody. Even though I will argue that by their own website, that they shouldn't be prescribing it to most of the people that are taking it. This medication has been known to have very serious, very, very serious side effects, such as the minor ones are nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, unable to move, brain fog. The more harsh ones are suicidal ideation, anxiety attacks, like those sorts of things, right? And I'm a big believer in either, if you need something more than more than just your nutrition. There's natural remedies around. There's Ayurvedic medicine and stuff like that, which is what all supplementation is based off of. Our product, No Morbidity, it's a non-stimulant, non-thermogenic based appetite suppressant, and it works on the biological mechanism of hunger. So it's safe, effective. It's helps actually calm you down instead of causing anxiety, and it is something that does not cause things like pancreatitis and thyroid tumors, as these drugs are known to do. But the medical industry, which for those of you also that are new to here and don't know me, I was a healthcare executive working. I ran the nutrition departments of hospitals, skilled nursings, Alzheimer's buildings, assisted livings, rehab centers, up and down the Eastern United States for about a dozen years, employing everybody from directors of medicine and doctors, dietitians, nutritionists, dietary aides, diet techs, CNAs on the way down. And one of the reasons why I left the healthcare industry was because we weren't helping people. It's not designed to help people. The healthcare industry is designed to make money. And anybody that says anything different, I would challenge you to tell me how. When over 50% of all expenses are in admin costs, like admin costs, meaning like people's salaries and profit. The healthcare industry just does not help people. And I ran across this video was sent to me. I wanted to point this out. I am highly sensitive to medications and supplements, and I have had zero side effects from No Morbidity. That is amazing. Thank you very much. Our supplement, No Morbidity, has helped tens of thousands of people get healthier lives. I don't understand why people will go more towards pharmaceuticals and supplements, but I also think that to a great degree, mainstream media, social media, and are paid by the pharmaceutical industry, the healthcare industry, and big food to make supplements seem like either ineffective or dangerous, when No Morbidity is more effective than Ozempic, frankly, and has almost no side effect profile and is much, much, much safer. And it's not designed for you to take the rest of your life, because these drugs are designed for you to take the rest of your life. I would argue that No Morbidity is much more effective. We have people that lose weight at a much greater pace in a state of satiation, satisfaction, and stuff like that. And then the only side effect I got was I feel more thirsty. I tend to think that that's a good thing for most people, but I agree with you. But somebody sent me this young lady's video, And I found it odd on just multiple facets, but I just wanted to walk through this with you because not only does it show the issues with, oh, hi, sweetie. I just want to say hello. Good. She wants to say hi to everybody. So not only, hi, baby. Not only does this woman's video, I'm left with a lot of questions, but I'm also left with wondering, like, I want to count the failures of the healthcare industry for this woman, because I think that that's a very telling story. So this is, and please go follow her. I hesitate to take supplements because I have a heart condition, but I'm overly cautious of everything. You should be cautious of everything if you have a heart condition, but I would be much more worried about pharmaceuticals if I have a heart condition than supplements. Just to be real, I wouldn't take anything with a stimulant in it or a thermogenic in it. That's to be. I mean, talk to your doctor, of course, about everything, but I don't know. Spend hundreds of a month on semaglutide just to lose muscle mass, than more muscle mass than gain fat. That's another thing too. Like these drugs cause people to lose a larger amount of lean mass versus fat mass than if they weren't using them. Whereas conversely, no morbidity helps people lose a larger amount of fat mass than muscle mass than lean mass than without, because we have an ingredient in it called thinogen, which helps uncouple the protein 1 NAs from adipose tissue. So therefore, your body is more adept to go to fat stores. You retain more muscle mass when you use it than without, and definitely than if you were using Ozempic. I just personally believe that Ozempic, and I'm going to make a little chart up sometime this week, showing how I believe that no morbidity is better than Ozempic, because I just truly believe it is. We have had plenty of people that have switched from Ozempic to no morbidity and are having better results on no morbidity without the side effects than they had even on Ozempic. So I'm talking tons, like lots of people. So here's her babushka's on. She's wearing the babushka. It's to the back right now. See, I'm going to put her in her chair. This is her work chair. She's got her own work chair. So that way I can free up my hands. And I truly believe this, right? So we're going to go through this young lady's video, and then I'm going to be off. I'm not going to be on very long today, but I just wanted to, I just thought it would be, I wanted to get this out, basically. So this is Krista Robin. Everybody, you go subscribe to her if you want. I do not know what her other content is. She has 82 subscribers, so she's a very small channel. I just found this to be rather interesting, and it's my Ozempic nightmare. I OD'd on this drug, and my heart stopped 4 times. Now, just so you guys know, Ozempic is so harsh on your system that they have to start you on normally what it was like 0.25 milligram doses, and they go all the way up to 2 gram doses. So, and the 2 gram dose, by the way, is the dose that they were normally going to have you on. It's called the forever dose, because that's the dose you're going to be on forever, because they just want you to be on it forever. There's no off ramp. And it's another thing with no morbidity that we do differently, I believe, where no morbidity is designed where you use it in a state of diminished hunger, increased stress relief, and extra fat loss to gain control of your habits, get proper hydration, proper sleep, proper stress relief, and try to do your very best to stay away from the processed foods, because that's the stuff that's going to kill you, whether you're fat or not. Whether you're fat or not, if you're taking in a lot of ultra-processed carbohydrates, you are going to die younger. It's bad for you. They're inflammatory, right? So we use no morbidity and upcoming Alchemy, which by the way, we're in third-party testing, so I'm waiting to hear about the release date for Alchemy. But we use these as tools to help control our hunger, regulate blood sugar is what Alchemy is meant to do, and control glycemic response to help people. We've noticed that on no morbidity, while it dampens hunger, people still get sugar cravings, especially when they're addicted to sugar or they have a very serious hard time staying away from stuff like that. So we created Alchemy, which is also an amazing supplement that I can't wait for all of you to try. For those of you that have a hard time or a sweet tooth or a hard time staying away from carbohydrates, it's amazing. Helps with sleep, glycemic response, So if you eat something that normally would make you hungrier an hour later, it doesn't do that. So I mean, we're we're trying to do these things to make sure that people don't need to resort to these very serious deleterious, uh, compounds, these drugs, these artificial compounds, and they build up Ozempic 0.25 to zero point 0.5, then to 1 gram, then to 2 grams, right? Or 1.5, then to 2 is what I've read multiple times. And the concept is they have to start you at a smaller dosage so your body can get used to the side effects, so your body can get used to it. I'm going to argue that it is not something that you should want to get used to. If something has such serious side effects, such as pancreatitis and possible thyroid tumors, the concept of being on that forever to lose what would be seen as not that great a weight loss, like they boast like 20% weight loss on the new one. They boast 20% weight loss in like 72 weeks. That's kind of fucking shitty. We have people that losing a third of their body mass in 9 months and shit like that, mostly fat. And it's just kind of scary, I don't know. I don't know what to do about this. Hang on a second. Man, my doc just prescribed this to me due to insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. I was on a strict diet for a year and nothing. Then this last effort put me on a microdose of 0.15 microdose ED. Well, let me know how it goes. Okay. And did I see that Glitter and Lasers lost 50 pounds? I believe she's on Ozempic. I mean, she has done advertisement for him. I believe she's on Ozempic. I did see that she wasn't able to get on a flight and got all upset. And I'll probably talk about that later this week, but that's for some other time. We're going to talk about this young lady's video right now, and I'm going to get out of here. So here we go.
Hello, my name is Krista, and I'm going to tell you my story about how my heart stopped 4 times.
By the way, she's at 1.5 speed. So this isn't just how she normally talks. This is 1.5 speed.
While after taking Ozempic. So I want to make sure I preface this whole video that I'm going to do with the fact that I am not bashing this drug. I am not trying to say anything bad about it. What I'm going to tell you is that there was a big mistake that was made.
I obviously will say bad shit about this drug because I believe that this is literally just them trying to cash in on, like, I wonder what the side effects are going to be from this drug that they're going to prescribe other stuff to you also. I mean, these are the same people that are in one sentence saying they're now trying to convince people that being morbidly obese is genetic and their drug can help by making you eat less. Because if you ate less without it, I mean, it's so stupid,
by medical professionals, and it caused me to be in the ICU for a few days. So I'm still.
And to this young lady, hire a lawyer, sue the fuck out of these people, because you absolutely have a case to sue the absolute fuck out of these people.
Still recovering. It has been since the 14th since I was prescribed this medication. So this is very recent. I just got out of the hospital last Monday. So it's been a little over a week since I was discharged. I'm still having symptoms. I took it on a Thursday, and it is almost in 2 days. It'll be 2 weeks since I took my first dose of Ozempic. So I'm still dealing with some dizziness, like my head's very cloudy. I apologize if I stumble with my words. I'm not completely all there. So let me explain what happened. This is a very scary experience, and bear with me while I go through the details. A little bit of my history of health. I have Hashimoto's, and I am a type 2 diabetic. So about 10 years ago, I was told I was pre-diabetic, and things just went crazy from there. I gained a lot of weight. I was probably 50 or 60 pounds heavier than I am now, and my blood sugar was, in the 400s, 500s.
So she gained weight and made herself diabetic, basically.
I was put on Trulicity and different types of injectables to get my blood sugars down. So long story short, went on keto, lost weight, started exercising, started making a lot of changes in my daily, diet, activity, and here I am today, back to having diabetic symptoms again, because I gained a little bit of weight back since COVID. I know.
So notice how she says that she literally was able to, through food and activity, remove herself from being that. And now since she's gained weight back from COVID, and I hate when people blame COVID because nobody told you had to sit down and order fucking DoorDash. That's the fucking sad shit. Nobody Nobody told you you needed to fucking not exercise. Like, I mean, that's, I personally lost, like, I personally took my health 10 times more seriously once COVID came about, and I've changed so much when I was already in what would be considered pretty good shape, you know? So
A lot of people did, and it sent my blood sugar numbers through the roof once again. And so, because I lost my job back in January, or I'm sorry, April. See, I'm not all there. I only had the job from January to April, so I didn't work very much to really get a sense of, who a good doctor would be, or a medication program. I only had the job for a very short time, so I didn't have time to really get things going with my health. So once I lost my job, I was able.
So and this is to her, if you watch this, you can get shit going with your health by the food you eat and by the activity you do, the amount of hydration you take in, your sleep, stress relief. Like, you don't need to wait for a doctor to start on your health. You absolutely don't. And if you have pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes, don't eat sugar. Don't eat carbohydrates. Like, anything, don't eat carbohydrates in any other way besides vegetables. And even then, starchy ones or very sweet fruit, maybe make a very, very small minority. You know, this whole concept of depending upon the pharmaceutical industry and the healthcare industry for your health is what they want. They want people completely reliant upon the healthcare industry. It's very bad.
To get on Medi-Cal, and that ensured me some free healthcare, which was great because I got tests.
There's no such thing as free healthcare. There is no such thing as free healthcare. There might be free healthcare to you, but there is no such thing as free healthcare.
Done a lot of blood labs done, and they found A1C was a little over 9, and my blood sugar was at 200. So
your A1C was a little over 9, and your blood. And notice we're not talking about any of the food she was ingesting. That's just bad. That's just bad. Okay, because that's what it all should be about. That's literally what it all should be about.
They decided to put me on insulin, and this was a nurse practitioner that I had spoken to for maybe 20 minutes, and then she decided, let's go on insulin, and I'm going, wait a minute. No, I'm not trying to put down a nurse practitioner, but I really would like to talk to an endocrinologist or someone that deals with people with PCOS, Hashimoto's, diabetes, all of those multi-layered problems that I'm dealing with. And I didn't want just this quick judgment of let's put you on insulin, let's go, here's the prescription.
But you knew this was coming. This wasn't a quick judgment. You were pre-diabetic before, and were registered as diabetic before. Lost a bunch of weight, and then I do fault the nurse for let's just go straight to insulin instead of go on try to manage this with food, because it is the fucking food. I mean, this is the sad part. Like, people just buy into this, and notice how she is like. For some reason, you don't want to be on insulin every day, but a once a week injection was okay. Okay, it's just weird.
I didn't quite like doing that or trust it, so I decided to call in to the health center and tell them I wasn't comfortable with taking insulin. So I want to talk to a different doctor. Of course, they're not MDs; they're nurse practitioner NPs. So I talked to another one, and she told me that Ozempic was the big popular choice in diabetic medication.
The big popular choice. Whenever a doctor or anybody in the healthcare industry says this is the big popular choice, that means that's the one that they're getting paid the most for. That means that's the one that the pharmaceutical industry is pushing the most for. That's the one where the drug reps have come visit them and given them shit the most for. Like, don't be stupid, people. Like, they don't like, at no point in time are they trying to get you. If they were trying to get you healthy, they'd be talking to you about your food, your activity, your hydration, your sleep, your stress relief, the relationships in your life. They're not trying to get you healthy. They want you to take their fucking drugs. So you're not comfortable with insulin. So instead of let's try to manage your blood sugar levels through food, let's try Ozempic because that's the big popular one. I mean, be smarter.
So I've definitely heard about Ozempic. I am very big on, the latest trends in weight loss and all these types of things. So
I'm really trying hard not to be mean here, but you're very big on the biggest trends of weight loss, except for, food.
Knew a lot about it already, but I didn't know about the side effects. I had no idea that it caused so much agony. So to some people.
How do you not know? I mean, that's the thing. And I guess, to you guys out there, do you only hear positive stuff about these drugs? Because I keep hearing this where people are like, I had no idea there were side effects to it. Like there is a black box warning on the label for thyroid tumors. Like you got the, and again, how could you not investigate shit that the doctors are giving you? Like shit, I tell you to it. Like I show you all the studies on no morbidity. We're going to talk about all the studies on alchemy here this coming up week. What is wrong? Like if you are going to put it in your body, check it out. like find out what the fuck's up with it, you know?
Well, not everyone, but there's a lot of people that deal with a lot of very horrific side effects.
Yes.
Horrific. And so what I did before I even took anything, or, you know, as soon as she prescribed it to me, I said, okay, great. There's a lot of people on this. There's a lot of celebrities that are on this. And I haven't really heard anybody complaining. So I joined a Facebook group.
Of course, you're not going to hear anybody. Of course, you're not going to hear anybody complaining. The success stories are going to be, you know, broadcast forever. You're not going to hear anybody complaining.
Group, and the comments were kind of scaring me. What people were saying with the nausea, the throwing up all day, the stomach cramps, the diarrhea. There's diarrhea involved. There's, you know, very odd feelings in your stomach, and then the fact that you really can't get through a meal.
There's also anxiety. Like people have reported back, we've done reviews of this. People report back just massive anxiety. It's just, you know, these drugs are on their own literature, on their own website. They say that if people with a history of depression should not be given these drugs. I'm sorry, you're going to tell me that this woman doesn't have a history of depression? I'm not buying it. I'm just not buying it. I'm really not. Name me a 300-pound person that's willing to spend tons of money for a drug that has high risk side effects to it that they're going to inject into themselves once a week for the rest of their lives that doesn't have some sort of anxiety or depression. Find me one. I refuse to believe that. I mean, it's contraindicated by their own terminology. It's just crazy. Like if you have anxiety and you want to take no morbidity just for the stress relief factors, there's KSM 66 and no morbidity to help relieve stress relief, to help relieve your stress, to help relieve stress relief, to help relieve your stress. But this is just kind of, I mean, I'm happy that she's looking at this shit though.
You know, even a small meal, you only take little bites and you're like, I'm full. I thought, okay, this is not good. Okay, this to me does not sound like something healthy at all. You have to eat. You have to get your nutrients. You can't just eat a couple bites and say, okay, I'm going to get thin or my A1C is going to be great. So in my mind, I'm thinking,
well, it depends on what the food is, actually. If it's super, like if it's, you know, you take like, I mean, if you take in 1,400 calories of meat and vegetables a day, yeah, you can. You know, it's like people are stuck on, I guarantee you she still eats like shit. I guarantee you she still eats like shit. And that's the biggest fucking problem I have.
How is this healthy? Okay, sure, you're losing weight. Awesome. But you're losing it very quickly. And you're also not eating. People are losing hair. And in my mind,
that is a big problem. If you want to understand, people are undernourished because of the nausea and the vomiting and stuff like that. Because a lot of people get the nausea, a lot of people get the vomiting, they get diarrhea, and they still eat like shit. So the food that they're eating in much smaller quantity is very nutritionally sparse, and therefore causes hair loss and stuff like that.
I'm like, I'm not in a race. I'm not going to be in the Miss Universe pageant. You know, like I don't need to lose weight in a month. I would rather lose weight over like a year's period or 6 months or something like that. I don't need to lose weight tomorrow. My A1C, sure.
Actually,
yeah, let's work on that. But
actually, I mean, you need to start losing weight immediately. Like you should change your nutrition around completely immediately. Actually, if your A1C is at 9 and your blood sugar is 200, you fucking absolutely should lose weight immediately.
You know, like I'm not in a hurry to do all these crazy things, and I don't want to feel.
What's crazy is having an A1C of 9. That's what's fucking crazy. Trying to lose weight is not crazy. Now, taking a drug, like she's already said no to insulin. Time tested, you know. I mean, I don't understand.
Full after 2 bites of a meal. I want to enjoy a meal, get the nutrients from my food.
There it is. I want to enjoy a meal. You know, I get this a lot, and I want people to enjoy their food too. I want people to enjoy your food because building a healthy, sustainable lifestyle involves being satiated and satisfied with your food. You can't just be satiated. You can't just have the absence of hunger. You need to be satisfied with your food. You need to eat food that you find enjoyable. It's one of the things like I make sure I eat something crunchy. That's one of the reasons why I love frozen berries, because they have a different texture than meat to them. And sometimes I look past that. That's what I do, things like to make sure I don't get texture fatigue, stuff like that, right? But like, to a great degree, if your body is starting to just say fuck you and you have an A1C of 9, pleasure with your food should absolutely take a back seat to, I don't know, living, staying alive, not having your feet chopped off type thing, Jeez.
Want to be like 2 bites, ouch, my stomach hurts. Hell no. So I'm reading these people's testimonies on doing this drug, and they're like, it's worth the pain, it's worth vomiting, it's worth the diarrhea. There's people that have pooped their pants at work, and I'm like horrified, going, this is not worth it. This to me, in my opinion, is not worth the risk of pooping your pants. You want to wear diapers to work? But anyway, that's just my opinion. I don't think that the side effects were worth it, but I'm worried about my health. So I said, okay, I entrust my health professionals to make the right decisions. So I went to go pick up the medication, and they gave me, and mind you, this is my first time ever taking Ozempic. I have not taken it before. I have not taken any injectables in about 8 years. Okay. This is brand new. I haven't taken metformin, nothing. Okay. I've only been on my Hashimoto's medication. That's it. It's a pill. They give me 1 milligram. Okay.
So that's a big problem. But what should have happened is at the doctor's office, or where she got prescribed with this stuff, is in order for her to have informed consent, they should have talked to her about the dosing. They should have talked to her about why they're doing the dosing that way. They should have talked to her about the scaling of the dosing. They should have talked to her about any of the possible side effects that could possibly happen. Anything that could absolutely positively happen. So that's one area already where the healthcare industry has failed her. One incident already where she clearly was not given informed consent about the scaling, because she should have known. Like, your doctor's job is to inform you in terminology that you can understand what the treatments are that they're giving you, why they're giving them to you, and the possible negative and positive side effects, how long the treatment's going to last, what the long-term outcome is of the treatment, how, those sorts of things. Like, that is true informed consent. Now, I understand since 2020, we've decided to completely scrap the concept of informed consent in the healthcare industry. It was already getting pretty bad because they can charge you whatever they want, so there's no informed consent about that. But like, they should inform you, and you should demand from your doctor, okay, what does this medication do? How does this medication work? What are the doses? Am I going to have to scale doses? How long am I going to have to be on it? If I have to be on it forever, what are the long-term tests? What are the long-term testing show about being on this forever? Right? Like, if they can't tell you what it is going to do to you 5, 10, 15 years from now, and they're also telling you you're going to have to stay on it for 5, 10, 15 years, 20 years, the rest of your life. If they tell you that you need to be on it forever, but they can't tell you what side effects to look for by being on this drug forever, which a drug so harsh to your system that they need to scale it up from 0.25 milligrams to all the way different scales up to 2 grams, or 0.25 milligrams up to 2 milligrams, just so your body can get used to the side effects. I'm having a hard time believing that that's good for your body. That when you have to take something that's so toxic to your system that it normally results in very small amounts when you first start taking it, to you being sick as fuck, shitting your pants at work, possibly fucking having suicidal ideations from anxiety and shit like that. They're going to expect you to be on this forever. What does that look like 10 years from now, 12 years from now, 15 years from now? And the scary part about it is the people from Novo Nordisk can't even begin to fucking tell you. They openly say that you need to be on this drug forever, but they have no idea how it will treat your body being on it forever. They have no idea whatsoever. That's one of the reasons why when we designed No Morbidity, I want it to be used as a tool where people, like, that's why there's 3 capsules. You take 3 capsules a day. You start at 3 capsules. You don't need to titrate up because it's not dangerous. So you start off with 3 capsules. I took mine earlier this morning, boom. And and if I wanted to ever come off of this, which I'm not going to, because 1, it's my supplement, but 2, it's safe as fuck. And 3, I worry way more about my binge eating than anything else. So it helps me control my binge eating. But this way you can use it in a state of diminished hunger and increased stress relief to try to, in fact, build healthier habits. So once your habits are built, then you can go from 3 capsules to 2 capsules. If you still don't experience any greater hunger and you're not having any weight regain after you've lost weight, then go to 1 capsule. And if you're still holding strong, then try to go off of it and see if your healthy habits are what is helping you out. And if you ever need to go back on it, you can then go back on it. It is not meant to be on forever. It is meant to be a tool to help you build healthier lifestyles, right? 1 second. I thought you were supposed to take it with your last meal. That's just, we put that on the bottle so people remember to take it. I take mine in the morning, but most people do take it with their evening meal. But anyway, but this woman was not being given. This is the absence of informed consent. So they've given her 1 milligram to start with
as my starting dose. Okay, 1 milligram. Me not knowing that this is a very dangerous dose, I didn't know. So when I went to pick it up, the pharmacist gave me a really funny look. They looked at me kind of like, okay. And I was like, is there a problem? And they said, this dose is a little high. Have you taken this before? I said, no. And they said, this dose seems high.
So right there, here's where I think that both she failed, and the physician failed after them already calling in a failed order. The pharmacist should have called the doctor and been like, I'm confirming this dosage. They should have called to confirm the doses. She, since the pharmacist is like, wow, that seems high, she should have been like, I'm calling the doctor to make sure they wanted to give me 1 milligram, right? This is the area of the video that made even less sense to me, right?
But yet they did not call the medical professional to double check on the dosage.
And they should have.
They kept saying,
but you should have also. You're the one that's putting this shit in your body. You should have also.
This is high. I thought, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm 5'9" and I weigh 200 pounds. Maybe I just need more meds because I'm a big chick. I have no idea. So I just trusted them. And I went home and I jabbed this into my thigh. 1 milligram. Jabbed it cross.
So didn't call nobody, just went home, jabbed it in your thigh. I thought it was supposed to be given in the stomach, by the way. But like I see what you're saying, like you're trusting, you're still trusting these people. Why after the last 3 years would anybody trust the fucking healthcare industry without asking questions? Ask all the questions you fucking can. If they can't explain it to you in terminology that you understand, that's not informed consent. That is absolutely not informed consent. But young lady, the biggest mistake you made is when the physician raised a red flag. And you probably did your research too, so you probably knew this was off. You should have called your doctor and been like, why do I have 1 milligram when I thought I was going to start on 0.25 milligrams? Is this safe? Is this okay? What changed? But it sounds to me like they didn't even talk to you about dosing at the doctor's office. They just said they're going to put you on it and called it in, and then didn't give you any informed consent there either, right? So frankly, you made a mistake, they made a mistake, and the doctor made a mistake. But their mistakes are, you should hire a lawyer, because I do believe that will be an issue for them.
My fingers. Thought, I don't want to vomit. I don't want to get diarrhea. Please just be nice to me. The next day, when I woke up in the morning, something was really, really, really off, really wrong. I started seeing white on the left side of my eye, just white, like a white wall, and like sparkles and white flashes. And I'm like, am I fucking going blind? What's going on? And so
if you have taken a new drug and you wake up the next day and you have like vision impairment, you don't feel good, something like that, go to the emergency room immediately. If you've just taken a new drug, especially after the pharmacist was like, hey, this might be a little bit too much. Immediately go to the emergency room. Immediately.
That's when the nausea started coming up, and I could feel that I was going to throw up. Trigger warning, I'm going to talk about some nasty vomit. Okay. I projectile vomited in the bathroom. It went straight. Like I've never done that before where your vomit just goes straight and hits the back of the toilet and went all over the shower curtain. And I was horrified. I had never done that before. And all I could think of was like, am I turning into a zombie? Where's Drew Barrymore? Like what's going on? So I immediately started feeling like I was gonna throw up again. I threw up like 2 or 3 more times. And then I started blacking out.
Call the ambulance. You just took a new drug, you're vomiting, you're having vision problems, and then you black out. Call the ambulance, get them there right fucking then. Call the goddamn ambulance immediately.
I could see nothing in front of me and my brain just sort of shut off. And then I just kind of snapped back into it.
Call
So I
911.
immediately called my mom. I said, come over right now.
Call 911.
About the medication that I took. And so she dashed over. It was time for me to take my dog out for a walk. So I took my dog out to the dog park and my mom came with me. And
What the fuck are you doing? Why are you walking the goddamn dog? You just passed out after projectile vomiting after taking a new medication. It's causing vision impairment. What the fuck? Go fuck get in an ambulance. Call a fucking ambulance. You are in a fucking. This is insane. This is crazy. I mean, like this is the part I didn't fucking understand. Like, why the fuck are you walking your goddamn dog when you literally just passed out from taking a new medication? What the fuck? What is? I don't know what her life is, but if I were to just randomly pass out one day, Chris will be like, "What the fuck's going on? We're going. Let's get you checked out." You know, and what's up with her mom? Her mom joining her at the dog park. Her mom should have been like, "Let's go to the fucking get in the car right now."
Throwing up at the dog park, like throwing up, and next thing you know, I wake up and I'm on my back, and I'm on the ground, and my mom
ambulance, call an ambulance.
Is like, oh my God, you passed out, like you fell. And I'm like, what? And she said, yeah, oh my God, you need to call somebody. And it was really weird because the doctor's office was calling at that moment. And I picked it up and I said, oh my God, I have to go to the hospital. I passed out. Whatever you guys gave me, I passed out. And she goes, oh my God, you need to go to the hospital. And so my mom drove me to the ER and she put me in a wheelchair and they gave me a little vomit bag and I started throwing up in the wheelchair and I passed out while I was in the wheelchair. And I just remember waking up and being like, oh my God, this is not good. My mom didn't even notice that I passed out.
The third time you passed out after vomiting all morning long, like you're right, it's just not good. People, try to exhibit some common sense. Jesus.
She was just sitting there like looking at her phone or something, and I'm like, Mom, did you just see I passed out? And she goes, what? I didn't even notice. And I said, oh my God, this is bad. So they got me into the little area where they check your vitals, and they put the little pads all over me, and they took my blood pressure and everything looked pretty good. My blood pressure was a bit high. So they took me in the back and into a bed. And as I'm getting into the bed, I started feeling like I was going to throw up again. I threw up and I passed out and fell backwards into the bed. And thank God I was on a bed because, if I was standing or whatever, I would have like hit the floor. And I passed out. And then my mom said I was choking on my vomit as I was laying back flat. And my mom went to put my head up, but my mom slipped and fell backwards. And she couldn't get to me because, my mom has mobility issues. She couldn't get up. So she started.
I'm almost guaranteeing her mom's big.
Screaming for the nurses to come and sit me back up. I don't know how long I was out. Probably 10 seconds or so, maybe longer. And my mom was just shaking. She's like, you were choking on your vomit and I couldn't get to you. That was the hospital staff was more concerned with my mom falling than the fact that that I passed out.
They're more concerned with your mom falling because she fell in the hospital. Your mom, that's exactly why. They don't give a fuck about you or your mom. They care about what's going to happen if your mom sues them because she fell in the hospital. That is exactly why they were more concerned with your mom than you. And anybody that doubts me, fuck off. Just absolutely, like the risk manager for the hospital probably has your mom's file on her desk, his or her desk right now. And your file, they could not give a fuck about. It's absolutely not,
So they finally got me a room, and I went up to the room. And as they're getting me settled into the room upstairs, this is like, just the regular patient rooms. As she's putting like my blood pressure cuff on, as she's putting everything on me to take my vitals, I threw up again, and I this time was out for 21 seconds. My EKG showed that there was a heart pause. My heart was not pumping any blood. So they told me that the other 3 times that I had passed out, that my heart had also paused. So they admitted me into the ICU. I was there for about 2.5 days and they monitored my heart. I have a heart monitor on right now to make sure everything's okay. I was fine. So all the events happened the day after I took the 1 milligram. All of the bad things happened, but the following days they had me on anti-nausea medication, which, you know, I started feeling like I was gonna throw up again, and they would put in my IV a product that would help with the nausea. So that really helped, and I think it saved my life because I would have been throwing up again. Ooh, girl, I am in trouble. I'm still in the hospital. So controlling the nausea, I think, was a huge factor in why I recovered well and was able to go home. But the dizziness was out of control. It felt like I was like the drunkest I've ever been in my whole life. Like it felt like I partied way too hard and I was not able to see straight. Everything was fuzzy and I was still seeing the white sparkles. And on the 3rd day that I was there at the
So
hospital,
fucking bad.
I woke up and I started seeing the white wall again with the sparkles and started feeling like literally the room was like spinning. And I had to use a walker to walk around the hospital. I could not go to the bathroom by myself. There had to be somebody standing in the bathroom watching me go to the bathroom because I couldn't get off the toilet without the walker.
They don't want you to fall.
They were afraid I was going to pass out again. So someone was constantly following me. I had an alarm on my bed. I wasn't allowed to leave my bed at all. So I guess let's see, I was there from Friday till Monday.
So I'm not going to continue on with this. I'm going to answer a few of your questions, and then I want to go and enjoy my day. I just got to say, people, more than this even being about Ozempic, I understand that in the last couple of years, our public health officials have made it seem like trust the science, trust the science, trust the science. Do not trust these people. Make them explain it to you in detail. I'm not saying not to listen to them, but they should have to explain it to you very, 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 very thoroughly and in language that you understand. Do not let them speak in what's called medical vernacular to you. There's an actual entire class, by the way, called medical vernacular that you take when you want to get a degree in healthcare. Everybody from administrators, which I was, through nurses, doctors, everybody takes a medical vernacular class, and it is basically the medical language of like the DX, you know, diagnosis is DX, RX is RX, you know, like those sorts of things, right? And doctors and nurses and nurse practitioners and the physician's assistants will in fact talk to their patients in medical vernacular that the patient just nods their head and, okay, smart person, okay, you're saying something I don't understand. Clearly, you're smarter than me. Fuck that shit. If they were truly smart, they would be able to explain it to you in terminology that you understand. And we have lost sight of that. We have lost sight of informed consent in our society, and it's very tragic, like super, super, super tragic. So please do make sure that they are explaining stuff to you very, very, very thoroughly. Now I have a few questions I'm going to answer. Where was the ER staff during all this? It could have happened very quickly. Just so you know, it could have just happened very quickly, or they could have thought she was okay and just let her sit down. So. Thank you for the tip, by the way. I was curious exactly how Ozempic works, not living in the USA. So I cursory researched its mechanism. When I found papers about receptors affecting existing in most organs in the body, alarms rang my head. It is an artificial hormone. It's a glucagon-like peptide, GLP-1. Okay, and GLP-1 is basically, as ghrelin forms in your stomach, GLP-1 dampens it down. So think ghrelin and glucagon are at war. But it also has just many serious side effects. And like you said, the receptors are found throughout most organs of the body. That's why people are having trouble with their pancreas. People are having trouble with their heart. People are having trouble with those sorts of things. Anyway, no, you're right, Alan. Banner Health freaks out over anyone falling. Absolutely, they're terrified of it. And they didn't see any connection between the symptoms and the shot. I know, it's kind of crazy, right? Another nurse following around a fall risk instead of helping a critically conditioned. Yep, exactly. Who takes a new drug without checking the side effects first? As for falling, just a hospital liability issue. Wonder if falling and not being able to get up changes their lifestyle. I expect not. Exactly. One of the many reasons why I respect you, Alan, you actually do your research in the industry. I was in the industry. I was in the industry. Like I was a healthcare executive. Horrible industry. Horrible, horrible, horrible industry. Just horrible. But thank you. I appreciate you. The scaling up reminds me of when I was on T3 and Clen years ago, starting to think about that wasn't any less healthy. Exactly. A huge part of patient communication is psychologically gaming you into being passive so that they then end up convo as quickly as possible. They don't want to have to explain it to you, which is, again, against informed consent. So, guys, I will be back on. I'm not going live tomorrow, but I will be back on Wednesday likely. And I hope everybody has a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous rest of the day. Please do yourself a favor. First of all, if you take a new medication and you wake up not feeling well, please immediately go call the doctor and do something. Okay. And I mean, please do not just take it lightly, but make sure your doctors or whoever prescribes you something, make sure that they explain it to you thoroughly, the dosage, how long you're going to be on it, what the long-term effects are, how long they think you're going to be on it, because that's what's truly called informed consent. And we need a very serious revamping of the healthcare and pharmaceutical industry, because they are absolutely to the benefit of both the healthcare and pharmaceutical industry right now in America and not the patients. And I would love to help lead that charge and be looking for stuff in the future about me talking way more about that. So thank you all. I appreciate you guys. I hope you have a great day. And to the young lady that whose video this was, I was not trying to be harsh on you. I just hope you learned these lessons. And somehow or another, I just think you really needed to hear, like, you should have asked a lot more questions. You absolutely should have. So I hope you're doing well. I hope everybody has a great day. God damn.